I'm Marty Gold Cummings, and this is Marty Talks. We're chatting with your favorite stars, queens, and politicians to get all the tea on all things political. Okay, welcome to Marty Talks, a podcast where we are talking all things drag, drama, spilling the tea, and talking politics. I am so excited because our guest today is the one, the only, the glamazon herself, Alaska. Pew, 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 pew.
Yes, glamours.
Now, okay, on the day of this recording, we have been graced by the beauty of Gaga and Ariana
Uh,
Grande's new song. Are you fully gagged?
I am. I just love it, and I love her, and I have for so many years, and she's created so many magic moments for me and for so many people, and she's continuing to do that, and it's great to see like so many people celebrating um right now in this time where it's like so crazy and so dark and so easy to like retreat into like sadness. But it's cool. It's really good. I'm
It's so
happy
good.
about it.
I was bopping around. My husband got so mad at me. He was trying to sleep, and I was blasting it at 3 in the morning last night, dancing around in my underwear.
Of
It's
course, you have
it's what
to.
we need though. Like the world is so scary right now and it's so uncertain and like Pride is not happening in person. I feel like Gaga and Ari were like, okay, the queers need us.
I
Let's unite.
know. We do.
We do. We need the joy. We need the joy, girl. And I
Yeah.
love you. You do such a great Gaga show, and it sells out like all the time,
Yeah.
which is so mage. How did that show like come to fruition?
Well, we've done a few of them. I mean, it started just because, okay, I mean, think back to like when A Star is Born, the movie came out. And I was like really obsessed with the movie and like the music and like I love Lady Gaga and I was just like there's not I need to do something with this. So I texted a few of my drag friends out here in Los Angeles and I said, "Okay, we're doing this show called A Star is Born This Way. You're gonna do this number, you're gonna do that number, I'm gonna do these, and it'll just be a short little like stupid really stupid drag show about the movie." And so we did it. It was very, very fun. And then, Nick Laughlin in New York.
I love him.
Yeah, but he was like, "So when are you doing it in LA or in New York?" And I was like, "I don't know. Fine, let's just do it." And so we ended up doing it, but Nick is like really extra and can't just like do something simple. He was like, "We're gonna blow this out. I'm gonna call everyone I know who's a dancer, who's a singer. We're gonna make this like a fucking blown out show." And so we did, and it was a huge success. We ended up doing it a few times. Then we were like, "Okay, what are we doing next? Oh, we're doing Justice for Art Pop." So, and now we call our I guess I mean our production, team, we call it Divatronic now. And who knows, we might be doing something else even though we're on quarantine.
I hope you do. It's so good. And you have my drag daughter Salmonella was in it. You had my
Mhm.
girl Emily Trumbull,
Mhm.
Stephanie's Child. Like before Jan was on the Drag Race, they were like belting their faces off in it. It's like literally the highest caliber of talent in New York performing at this event.
It makes me so like it almost makes me like cry just hearing those names because we had such good times and created like magic space, and I miss $3 bills so much. I miss all of the girls. But
The
yeah,
dolls.
the deep dolls. Oh my god.
The dolls, honey. Now, have you ever met the Gaga?
Yeah. Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what? Okay, work, bitch. Tell me about that.
Well, it started back. like when Joanne was being rolled out, they her team contacted World of Wonder and they were like, we want someone to do sort of a humorous, like, Wow Presents Plus thing about the new Joanne era. So like how to get the look, what is it all about? And so they reached out to me and they were like, come down and do this thing on the green screen. And it was that video where I was like, I'm just a regular girl.
Yes.
I just put my hair in a simple ponytail and then cut this tank top really short so I have under boob because I'm a regular girl. And so like Gaga and her team saw it, they loved it, and I was like, and I was hearing this sort of through an intermediary at World of Wonder, and I was like, okay, that's great, but like I really want to see her dive bar show because there it wasn't the type of thing you could buy tickets to. I was like, can they like hook it up or what? And they, of course, because Lady Gaga creates magic moments, yes, of course, name the show you want to come to. We'll make it work. And so I was going to be in New York when they did the dive bar show at, what was it called, the Bitter End, or the...
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
And so Nick and I went. I dressed up like fucking perfect. And the girls from Broad City, and we watched this fucking set of Lady Gaga singing Joanne songs, and in this bar of 300 people. It was so cool. It was a magic moment. And the first thing she said when I first like met her was, I felt someone come up behind me and whisper in my ear, and she said, "Congratulations," because I had just won All Stars. And
what?
And that was the first thing she said. And then she was like, "Sorry, I have to go sound check." And so witnessed her just like sound checking. It was, she creates magic moments.
That's so fucking major. I just feel like she's the coolest. I want to like go on vacation with her and Adele, and like her, Adele, and Oprah. I just want to hang out with the three of them.
I think that sounds really, really fun.
It sounds magical. Now, okay, I have a confession.
Okay.
I have a soft place in my. Is that the right word? A soft place, a soft spot,
Mm-hmm.
a soft whatever. I'm a softie for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I love the Berg. I love Yins down to Berg. I love.
Me too.
Love Pittsburgh. And I love it. You know, I performed at the Blue Moon. Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
And when I got there, they were like, you know, this is where Alaska started. You know, this is the bar. And they were so proud. They were so proud to say, oh, this is where Alaska and Sharon started. This is where they began. And I was like, work, bitch.
It's true.
I had such a good time at that bar. And my ex is from Pittsburgh, so I've been eating French fries on sandwiches for years.
Oh, yes. I love Pittsburgh. I love the Blue Moon so much.
It's such a good place.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like for you? Because Pittsburgh is in, you know, the Allegheny County of it all, and you know, for us queer kids, it's sometimes a little difficult growing up in places like that. What was your experience growing up in Pittsburgh?
Well, I actually grew up in Erie, which is 2 hours north of Pittsburgh, and Erie's much smaller. But to me, as a teenager and like coming out and figuring out I was gay, Pittsburgh became to me like the shining city on a hill that I wanted to escape to. And I eventually did. I went to college there. And then after I moved to LA for a few years, I ended up moving back when I met Sharon. And that's like, I don't know. I mean, that's where I learned how to do drag. I mean, the Blue Moon was such an experimental space, and we had such a like tight knit community of people who came to our shows, and so we were able to just be like experimental and learn what worked and what didn't, and just like, I don't know. I mean, it's a really special place, and I love going back there anytime I can.
Did you ever go to Pegasus?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, Pegasus was this awesome bar, but there was a gate, like a chain link fence in the middle of it. And if you were under 21, you had to be on one side of the chain link fence. And if you were over 21, you were on the other side. So I was 20, and my ex-boyfriend was like 23 or 24. So he would pass the drink through the chain link fence so I could drink it.
There was a lot of that going on. There were a lot of chickens lined up against that fence trying to get something through.
Honey, the chicken coop. Okay, we were just looking for nibbles. It was great.
Truly, yeah.
I loved it. Now, what was it? Okay, so Pittsburgh now, like Pennsylvania is one of the states. We have an election coming up. It's very contentious and scary, especially with this pandemic that's happening, and the prospect of Trump getting elected again is super scary. And Pennsylvania is really in play here. What are your kind of like thoughts on Pennsylvania and how we can get voters in areas like Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, those places to not vote for Trump?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the name of the game is just making sure that everybody votes, because a lot of like young people, I feel like, aren't super motivated to vote, and when we have them voting, then we are able to like make it sway in a better direction. And so like if we just get out the like urgency and like how imperative it is that everybody votes, typically that's better. So I hope that everyone fucking votes and they vote the right way.
Yeah, I think it's really important to just get the message across of like, this is a very critical election. We have to get out there and vote. Well, first of all, we need vote by mail. That's a huge thing. We have to get vote by mail to protect people's health and stuff. But what is I know you do the show on WoW with your brother, right?
Yeah, we have. Yes.
Yeah. What was that like the first time your family saw you as Alaska? Were they like into it, or like how was that?
Well, that's where like RuPaul's Drag Race was really important. It was like, I think my family didn't understand what I was doing because I was out in Los Angeles like doing drag, and they didn't know what that was. My mom thought I was a hooker, which I don't know, I might have been for a very short period of time, but it was like,
well, sex work is work. We have to decriminalize.
Exactly. But like they just didn't know, and so it was like the fear of the unknown. But then Drag Race happened, and it shows like sort of in a 360 way like what drag is and how you interact with other people who do it. People everywhere do this. It's like an art form. There's a culture to it. And so like that was really transformative. And like once my family started watching Drag Race and sort of understood, like they're all fucking into it. My mom is my biggest fan. She's so supportive, and they love it.
We love supportive moms. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. And I want to talk a little bit more about Drag Race, but first we're going to have a brief message from our sponsor. So here we go. Right. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and so many other places. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it's in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, and we are back. Say woo! We love a sponsored podcast.
Girl, yes.
So I love that you talked about how Drag Race really opened up the world of drag to your family and showed what you do and how it's an art form. I think that's the thing, that I think is so important in with shows like Drag Race, and now there's Dragnificent, and we're here on HBO, and Shade Queens, which was on before, and Belay Brothers, all these shows. It's really highlighting, it's humanizing our art form, right? It's like putting a human face to it, which I think is super important. And I think that's one of the things, going back to talking about, getting people to vote in the election. I think it's important. We have to humanize issues, right? Like, we're going through an epidemic in our country where trans women of color are being murdered. We have to humanize, like, these are human beings, right? That lives are lost. And I think it's about putting a human face to everything. And I think you've done such an awesome job using your platform to showcase drag in such an awesome, positive, artistic light. What is your take on? I know Drag Race. A lot of times, there's some people who there's a lot of opinions from the fans, right? And there's a lot of fans who, not everyone, but there's a lot of fans who oftentimes are really critical of the queens of color more, and I think that's such a problem. What is your kind of take on how to handle fans like that, or have that dialogue with fans who are being openly racist on social media platforms?
Yeah. It's so funny that you were talking about like how there's like drag is more humanized now. Like the only thing I knew about drag queens when I was a kid was in the movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Three drag queens steal their Buick, and it's like this 10 seconds of screen time of fucking Dolly and Liza fucking stealing a Buick. But now kids have so many things that show drag, and I think that's the thing. Like, these are kids who, I don't know if they don't believe that, if they don't believe the internet is real, or if they believe that if it's someone on TV, then like they're never going to see it, or they're never going to like feel the effects of what they're saying. Also, like, hyperbole is so huge online. It's like, oh my god, I'm dying. Oh my god, I'm crying. Oh wow. Oh my god, I'm rolling on the floor. Oh my god, punch me in the face, mom. It's like, it's like, in order to get impact, there's a tendency to use hyperbole and to use like exaggeration. And so I think that like the culture of the internet takes it really far. And so, like, what is the most extreme thing I can say? What's the most hurtful thing I can say to get a reaction out of this person who's on TV? So therefore it like makes TV real, and I'm interacting with it, so I'm famous. It's like this warped like world that the internet is. And I don't know. I mean, I guess overall I would just like to like send out just like a blanket of like gentleness, or like chill the fuck out juice.
Do you think, and this might be like a little controversial, but there's some, I love Drag Race. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I've auditioned, yada yada. Love World of Wonder. I love doing DragCon. But the one thing that sometimes bothers me is at the reunions when people talk about how the fans are kind of bullying them online, and I wish Rue would say, "Hey, my platform is everybody say love, so knock that shit out,"
Well, he did,
and I haven't
though.
really heard that.
Because I remember when Jasmine Masters was going through it, and she got so much fucking dog shit from people online. And RuPaul addressed it and was like, that is not what we're here to do. That is not what we're about. So like, I don't know. There's probably more that they can do, but it's also like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think it's like the culture needs to just like calm the fuck down.
Needs to calm down. Yeah. I was thinking about. I have to look back on that jazz thing. That's good that you brought that up, so I can look at that. I'm happy she addressed it. Because I was talking about there was this one reunion where I guess they were talking about like Valentina's fans or something were coming after people, and I was like, okay, y'all, we just need to calm down. Like drag is fun. Like this is supposed to be fun, and
yes,
we're all, you know what I mean? Like this is fun. Let's just chill. Let's breathe and be nice to one another. Like calm
and that's
down.
the thing though, is when you take these people who are saying these hateful, horrible things, and when you get them in a room with the drag queens who are doing a show, they're in the front row, they're screaming, they're living, they get to meet them, they're crying, they're like hugging, they're like, so it's like it's not, I don't know, it's not, I don't think a lot of times, I don't think it's actually how they feel, but I think the culture of the internet just sort of like fosters and encourages this like sort of virulent negativity.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've had experiences where people have like said like really shitty stuff about me in a comment, and then I like call them out, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love you so much!" Like, and then they're in my DM being like, "I'm like your biggest fan," and I'm like, "You literally just shit all over me and made me feel like the worst human being alive."
Yes.
It's like so crazy. Like people will be like, "Your makeup is so fucking like you looked like," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. My feelings are completely crushed. Thank you." And then they're like, "I love you. You're everything," and I'm like, "Well, then why would you say something so horrible?" Like,
I know it makes literally no sense.
It's wild to me. It's wild to me. The internet is wild. I also want to talk about your podcast with Willem is so fucking good.
Thank you.
Race Chaser, it's so good. And Willem just made history yesterday of the time of this recording, getting his fucking Emmy nomination.
I'm so happy for her. Oh my god.
That's so major. Like, girl, I hope she wins that. I want Willem having an Emmy is 2020 shit, okay? We need Willem to have an Emmy to like clear this year.
Girl, yes, I know. I mean, I'm just it's a huge deal, and I know firsthand how fucking hard she works and how constantly she's on her fucking grind and like dedicated to what she does. And she's also, and I don't know if this comes across, but she's also like incredibly generous. Like how much that she opens up her creative space to anybody who wants to use that. She's got a closet full of designer shit, but she can't wear it all, so she literally loans it out to people constantly. She really works really hard, and she's really generous, and I don't know, she fucking deserves that. I hope she wins.
She does deserve it. That's the thing. Like, I think work ethic is so important, and you and Willem both hustle so hard, and it fucking shows. And it's so awesome to it's so awesome watching people fulfill their dreams, but they're fulfilling them because they're putting in the time and the work and like really, really busting ass. It's like all of your music is fucking like, what do the kids say? I'm like old as shit. Like what like lit, it's fire.
It's so litty.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. It's that. It's very that. I love it. And I also want to give a quick plug. Thank you so much for using my husband Blake for a project you guys are working on coming up. Very excited having him play piano for that.
Of course. Wait, we're not allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's your project, so I'm being vague.
It's a secret.
Secret project.
Can't wait to share with you guys. Big. Yeah.
But thank you. You know, Bob is our neighbor and one of our, you know, Bob's the producer of this podcast and she's one of our, you know, closest friends. But Blake was like, my husband, he was like, I can't believe Bob and Alaska are having me work on this. I love Alaska. I love Bob. I'm so excited. I'm like, you're never this excited to play piano for me. And he's like, yeah. You're like, of course. He is so excited about it though. And I was like, yeah. You wanna record something for me? And he was like, no, I see you every day. Like, is dinner ready?
I love Bob too. She's fucking awesome. And so yeah, if she calls and asks me to work on something with her, I'm like absolutely yes. Anytime.
Well, she's everything. I've known Bob for so long, and just like, I don't know, she's one of those friends where it's very like what you're talking about, like Willem. Like Bob is very giving and very loving, and is very into sharing her space with others.
That's the thing. You sober hoes, you're the best. I fucking love you. I really the world would not turn without some sober fucking drags out there. It really wouldn't.
Well, girl, when I was drinking, thank God I've been sober for almost a decade. When I was drinking, girl, I had one lash on my chin, one on my forehead, and I was like, I'm pissed, bitch.
Word.
I was busted as fuck. Girl, did you go through those busted stages in drag? I think every drag queen has to look busted for a year.
It's good luck. I don't trust a hoe who's too pretty too fast.
But these girls now, they go on YouTube and they do their makeup at home for like 6 months and they come out looking like fresh as fuck. And I'm like, I was ugly for 6 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. And there's like so much pressure now because you're automatically you're thrown into everyone sees it on the internet immediately. We had at least some time and some years to go out and like be ugly and to like have a good time. And,
experiment, yeah.
But it's different now.
This is kind of like a cliche question, but I always like to ask, what was your, when I was coming up in drag, I really looked up to like Sherry Vine and Shaquita, Peppermint, Varla Jean, Coco, who were the queens that really kind of like took you under their wing, helped you, guided you?
Well, there's a
inspired
queen
you
by the name of Jer Bear Jones, who she was a Los Angeles institution. And she would do these sort of cabarets where she would have some people come in and do some songs, and she would do some songs. And she was amazing, but she was one of the first people who gave Jeremy and me a chance to come in and like sing a song with a piano. And now that's like a huge part of what we do and who we are. And so like I've always thought of her as one of my many drag mothers. Also, Shishi LaRue, like it was her. I love her drag contest when she came to Pittsburgh. That was my first drag show, and I won. So that was like the bug that bit me, that made me just want to do drag.
That's so major. And then what was it? Were you doing drag when you were working at Circle of Books?
I was, and it's kind of how I got the job, because I had applied there multiple times and nothing ever came of it. Finally, I got an interview. I was talking with the manager, Ben. It was not going well. He didn't give a fuck. He was like, and then I mentioned like that I do drag on the side, and he sort of like sat up in his chair and like he sort of like perked up, and we sort of connected, like talking about fucking drag. And I'm pretty sure that's why I ended up getting the job there. Because of drag.
Alaska got you the job.
Girl, Alaska has gotten me a lot of things. God bless her.
What was it like working at that documentary? First of all, is so fucking good.
It is.
It's so
I like it.
And it's really beautiful. I love, like, this might sound like whatever, because I'm like in politics, but when I was a teenager and I first moved to New York, the Blue Store was like one of the first things that like really showed me how to be queer.
Yeah.
Like, and I like needed that, and I think these bookstores have like these bad reputations, which, maybe, sure, but when I was like 18 and I had only slept with like one other person at the time, like I was like, oh, this is a store that has like dicks and dildos and like poppers, like I was excited. It taught me a lot about it taught me a lot about
and just like about who we are. And Yeah.
But who we are,
it
yes.
was the place to be like, to be safe and to be yourself and to like, I don't know, just like explore and figure it out.
Yeah. Really quick, we're gonna take another brief break for our sponsor, and we'll be right back. We are back with Alaska. We're talking about Circle of Books. How long did you work there?
I worked at Circus of Books for exactly 1 year.
And do you keep in touch with the people there?
The person I've been in touch with most has actually been someone Rachel, who made the film, who I didn't know at the time that I worked there. But she's been really cool and just like, I don't know, she's really talented. The fucking film is so good, and it's been great like getting to work with her on just like the sort of the craziness that's been going on around the movie.
It was a really cool film. I was so excited when I saw you pop up. I was like, work, bitch.
I know. I was the thumbnail. Oh.
Honey.
Thumbnail pussy.
What was what's been like the kind of, you've had such an awesome the last couple of years have been fucking major, like to watch like everything you're doing. What has kind of been the thing that you're the most proud of?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, it's all good. It's like to be able to do this crazy thing called drag, and for it to be my job and also like my love and my passion. I don't know. I mean, I'm just really like, I'm grateful about that all the time. And I'm grateful to everyone who like supports drag and who supports what we do and fucking drag queens. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just grateful for drag, period.
What's your least favorite thing about drag?
Well, luckily, because of the quarantine, I've gotten to get rid of most of the things that I don't like about drag. I don't have to wear heels. I don't have to wear pants. And I haven't been wearing nails either. So it's just been this, oh my God, I get to like sit down on my living room floor and do shows. Oh, it's so good.
It's so I like the virtual shows. I'm having a great time, and first of all, I can't wait to get back in the bar like with people. But I also want to continue doing virtual shows even when we're back.
I'm interested to see, because I feel like it's opened up this other way of like exploring drag. Like Bitch Put In is doing this really. It sort of reminds me of like AM radio, sort of like Gorilla, sort of like a fucking like Adult Swim in its early days, kind of. It's like a TV channel, except it's all drag.
All drag.
It's sort of underground feeling. It's really cool. And like, that's one of the great things that has come out of this really fucking horrible, difficult time. Yeah,
it's been a fucking very stressful, and you know, very scary and overwhelming. You know, it's a pandemic. It's terrifying. But I think if there is a silver lining, I think, you know, finding new ways to be creative has been really exciting. You know, like this podcast started because we're home, you know, and I've had joy doing this. I've done Bitch Pudding Show. It's so fun. Now doing the digital Pride show with New York Pride. You know, like there's these things that we're working on that would have probably never happened. So I think it's really exciting seeing people try new things with makeup, try new types of numbers, try different ways of being creative. It's been really awesome to kind of watch our community flourish in a new way.
That's drag. Not even the apocalypse can stop drag.
That girl, put it on a t-shirt.
Girl, it's true.
Put it on a t-shirt. Oh my God. Well, listen, before we go, what is your dream for Alaska? Where do you want Alaska to go?
Oh, geez. I don't know.
And would you ever perform? Would you do stuff outside of Alaska? Would you start performing outside of your drag character?
I mean, sure. Yeah. I don't know. Drag has opened a lot of doors. And I've gotten to do a lot of the things that I'm interested in doing. Like, that's the great thing about drag is there's sort of no limitations as to you only can do one thing. Like, I get to be on stage, I get to be on film, I get to edit my own fucking video shit, I get to graphic design, I get to make music and merchandise and a fucking toy that talks when you squeeze it. Like, so I don't know. Drag has been really great, but like, hey, fucking, I like challenging myself and doing new things. So I guess my wish is just to like keep being challenged and to keep being enthusiastic. And so far I haven't lost enthusiasm for it. I love drag as much as I ever have. Um, so I don't know. I just want to keep doing it. And also an EGOT.
And an EGOT. Yeah, well, listen, it's possible. Willem has an Emmy nomination. Y'all can get an let's do it.
It's happening. The wheels are in motion.
Isn't that what's so exciting though? Like it's like you were saying, like when we were kids, like our drag, the only drag we knew was the people stealing the Buick, right? And now,
yeah,
and like that was our thing, Liza and whoever stealing a Buick. But now we have fucking Willem is an Emmy winner, like, or Emmy nominee. We have multiple drag queens have like been nominated for Emmys now also because of different projects, and like it's a big fucking deal.
It's a very big deal. It's very exciting.
And I believe like your music is really fucking good. Like I full out like bop to your music. So girl, I see there should be a Grammy category for drag artist.
All right, girl, I'll be there.
Honey. Oh, well, I live for you. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with us and for talking about the getting people out to vote. It's so important. Make sure you guys are registered to vote. Get your friends registered to vote. And please, please, please go vote because we need to get on the good foot and take this country in the right direction.
That's tea.
That's tea. Well, I love you, girl, and I'll talk to you really soon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I love you too. Thank you, Marty. Bye.
Thanks, babe. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in to Marti Talks with Alaska. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share the shit out of it. Spread love and don't be a dick. Thanks for listening to Marti Talks. This podcast is presented by The Only Productions, Mitch Farino, and Bob the Drag Queen. Editing is also done by Mitch Farino and Bob the Drag Queen. Check out other podcasts, videos, and live events at theonlyproductions.com. Make sure you're registered to vote, tell your friends and family to register to vote, and get to the polls. Our democracy and our lives are at stake. Thanks again. You can find me on all social media at Marti G. Cummings. Until next time, spread love and don't be a dick.